afternoon to you all, and welcome to our first Business Mixer, Southern Edition. The Business Mixer seeks to introduce and celebrate new and upcoming entrepreneurs from the south of St. Lucia, particularly those who have benefited from government support programs such as the Youth Economy, MSME Loan Grant Facility, and the Community Tourism Project. It also aims to encourage networking, cooperation among our local businesses, the fostering of growth and success, and an increase in association membership. I would like to officially welcome all in attendance today, especially our collaborators, Ministry of Tourism, and the Youth Economy Agency. In the words of our esteemed Mother Teresa, together we can do great things. I now invite to the podium Mr. Jonathan Ale, Director of the Small Business Development Center of the Ministry of Commerce, to deliver the welcome remarks.
It is my distinct pleasure to welcome all of you to this inaugural Southern Business Mixer, an exciting addition to this year's Business Month activities. This year's theme, Innovate, Integrate, Inspire, Shaping the Future of Business, captures the spirit of entrepreneurship and collaboration that we aim to foster through this event and throughout Business Month. November is a pivotal time for St. Lucia's business sector as we celebrate Business Month alongside Global Entrepreneurship Week. Through partnerships with key stakeholders like the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, we host activities that drive growth, innovation, and the development of our MSME sector. Today's Southern Business Mixer is a proud collaboration of the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Tourism, and the Youth Economy Agency. This event brings together the beneficiaries of these agencies' transformational projects undertaken to provide funding and technical assistance to the MSME sector. These initiatives reflect our shared commitment to promoting entrepreneurship, empowering MSMEs to be the engines of growth in St. Lucia. This gathering provides a unique platform for our MSMEs to connect with our associations, seasoned business professionals, network with fellow entrepreneurs, and explore opportunities for collaboration and synergy. We encourage you to take full advantage of this opportunity to engage, share ideas, and form valuable partnerships that will contribute to the continued development of your business and St. Lucia's business economy. We also extend heartfelt thanks to our sponsors, Lucia, Caribbean Grain St. Lucia, the Youth Economy, and Heineken St. Lucia for their generous support in making this event possible. Your contributions help us to realize our vision of fostering a thriving, interconnected business community. Once again, welcome to the Southern Business Mixer. Let us innovate, integrate, and inspire as we shape the future of business together. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to Heineken St. Lucia. We are truly delighted to partner with the Ministry of Commerce for this signature Business Month. We really cherish this moment and are grateful to be part of such an important occasion. This space is a historic space. It's part of St. Lucia's rich history. This brewery, which you can see, was established in 1975, and it holds the distinction of being the first Heineken brewery in the Caribbean. Initially, we only produced beer, but we have grown over the last 5 decades to become the largest total beverage producer in the OECS. In 2025, we will celebrate a very significant milestone. We're going to be 50 years old, or 50 years young, in Heineken's presence in St. Lucia. And as we prepare for this achievement, we reflect on our journey of growth, but also our journey of contribution to the beautiful island of St. Lucia. We're actually finishing a very comprehensive social economic impact study, and we will publish it next year, but I wanted to take the chance to share a couple of highlights that we are finding so far about our direct impact, but also our indirect impact through the brewery. So of course, employment. Here, directly, we employ 250 people, but when we consider the indirect employment that we have on the island, it rises to over 2,000 people, really supporting families across the island. Additionally, we are the #1 exporter by value, and when we think about our contribution through the value chain, Heineken St. Lucia, we find, contributes to the national GDP over 2.5%. So along the journey of these 50 years, through ups and no doubt through some downs, many of you have been by our side. So in 2025, we really hope to engage all of you through your families, as consumers, as stakeholders, as partners, as we celebrate our Golden Jubilee. But for now, I trust you're going to have a fantastic evening, mixing, socializing over a nice cold drink in the home of Heineken. Now, it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention something on responsible drinking. I think we all know the dangers on the road, and I want to make sure you all get home very safely. So that's why we really have a strong message on when you drive, you should never drink. We want to make sure we all arrive alive. So aside from some beers today, you will have some no alcohol options, some low alcohol options, be that 0.0, shandies, waters, ginger ales. And for those who are not driving, you can try one of our new rum vibes. So thank you all for being here. This is really a nice celebration of coming together of business and a shared commitment to community and to growth. So let's enjoy this evening, and thank you very much.
It is indeed a pleasure to join you today, as this event is part of a wider Business Month activity under the inspiring theme that you have today, which says Innovate, Integrate, Inspire, Shaping the Future of Business. This theme resonates deeply as we forge a resilient and competitive economy in a dynamic and global landscape. Today's event is not only an opportunity to connect, but also a chance to recognize the dedication, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit that drives St. Lucia's business community. This mixer, as we call it today, comes in a particularly fitting time as we gather during the Global Entrepreneurship Week. Through this event, we can appreciate the broader activities organized by the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, which I heard was mentioned in the protocol list. We reaffirm our shared commitment to promoting entrepreneurship and supporting small businesses across the island. The government of St. Lucia is steadfast in its efforts to support businesses at every level. Initiatives such as the youth economy, and I see the flyers behind me, the ads there, the MSME that our Minister of Commerce so eloquently has managed and spoken about, the loan grant facility that they offer, the community tourism project that has taken off, are clear examples of that commitment. These programs are specifically designed to assist both aspiring and established entrepreneurs, providing valuable support and resources to start up or improve their businesses. Through the Ministry of Tourism, we have also been working diligently to create more enabling environments, and the recent passage of the Tourism Development Bill, that piece of legislation that was passed in Parliament, is a significant milestone to lowering the requirements for incentives from 6 rooms to 1 room, with expanding the scope of eligibility to projects and the range of incentives that are afforded. Moreover, the Community Tourism Agency, and I see some representatives here today, one of which is my former student, whom I am very well pleased. These continue to break barriers, enabling local businessmen, artisans, and cultural ambassadors to actively engage in the tourism industry. Through this agency, we are witnessing firsthand how the communities are empowered and not only participate, but also own, that's a key word, own a stake in our island's main economic driver. These efforts are undoubtedly creating authentic visitor experiences while driving sustainable community development. Strengthening linkages across sectors is critical to driving growth and economic resilience. Tourism offers numerous opportunities to foster collaboration with agriculture, manufacturing, and the creative industries. For instance, sourcing local products, craft, and entertainment for hotels and tours not only augments the visiting experience, but also ensures that revenue generated from tourism circulates within the local economy, benefiting farmers, artisans, and performers alike. Additionally, partnerships between businesses in tourism and other sectors can promote innovation and broaden market research. Initiatives that encourage local procurement and collaboration, such as the Tourism Linkages Committee that has been formed in the Ministry of Tourism, spearheaded by the Ministry of Tourism, of course, plays a key role in this venture. This committee was established to facilitate partnerships across sectors and to identify address barriers that prevent local businesses from fully benefiting from the tourism industry. Through these efforts, the committee aims to bridge gaps and create win-win scenarios for stakeholders across the value chain. Today's mixer, as we call it, provides a unique platform for emerging entrepreneurs to interact with seasoned industry leaders, exchange ideas, and form partnerships. The ministry believes that it can serve as a space for mentorship and guidance, with many of our established businesses and business leaders here to offer invaluable insights and inspiration to the next generation. By encouraging new entrepreneurs to join the private sector associations, we are strengthening networks that foster growth, resilience, and innovation, crucial elements for any successful business. As we look ahead, let us remember that the strength of our economy lies in our collective ability to innovate, integrate, and inspire one another. Working together and building stronger linkages between sectors will enable us to shape a brighter future for St. Lucia's business landscape, where opportunities abound for all, and our local economy grows sustainably. So ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for being here, and I am happy to be part of this productive and engaging experience. Thank you very much.
I have never been trained to speak for 3 to 5 minutes at a public function. And some of you will know that I am not a conformist. I am open to bouts of rebellion. So I am going to breach all the guidelines that have been sent to me by the ministry, asking me to speak for 3 to 5 minutes. I have no such intention. Furthermore, this is my constituency, and it's really good to see all of you. And that gives me a very, very, very special responsibility to breach all the guidelines that have been issued to me. That being said, let me move on to more pleasant subject matter. There is no question that the recent statistics on the St. Lucian economy are impressive. We have had 3 years of very solid growth, and I believe that it has been suggested that last year alone the growth was over 5.5 or 5.6%. Can't quite remember what it was, but 3 years of good, solid growth. The current account of the government of St. Lucia is positive. This is rare, but it is looking good. Though debt has risen somewhat, it has been contained largely because GDP growth has been so healthy. Unemployment, you know by now, is at its lowest in years. And it has been suggested it is just over 11.5% or thereabouts. This is astounding, almost unheard of, but that is the latest statistics that we have. Inflation in St. Lucia is still an issue, and I really don't have to remind you about energy costs where Lucia is concerned. And all of us feel the pain of Lucia every month. And believe you me, I receive their bills by email, and it's becoming an annoyance how frequently the bills seem to be reaching my internet account. I believe that the time has come for a solid review to be done of the pricing mechanisms of Lucia at this time, whether the existing mechanism is adequate for the country at this time. But that is for another debate at another time. All I want to say is that on all accounts, the economy is very well poised for the short term. It's a good, solid time for investment. It is a good, solid time to look to the future. And it is a good, solid time for the banks in particular to enhance investment portfolios nearly in all spheres of activity. But perhaps this is where the departure comes somewhat for me. On all accounts, the benefits of this economy is really being felt primarily in the north of the island. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. It's understandable, because the north is where the heart of the tourism product is. Most of your hotels are in the north. And then a lot of the construction activity that is helping to drive the economy at this time, a lot of it is taking place mainly in the northern zone of the island. And then the north is where the bulk of our services economy really is. Tourism apart, the other services that we offer to the country at large. There are times I actually believe we have a parallel economy in this country, an economy in the north and an economy in the south. And unquestionably, the south is going through very challenging times. In my several conversations with small businesses throughout my own constituency here in Beaufort South, they often say to me that they are seeing lean, challenging times. And it seems strange that on the one hand we have these extraordinary statistics for the economy, but yet in the South we seem to have a rather subdued economy. The economic performance seems at best a little weak and perhaps not as sustained as happened in the past. But the explanations are not very difficult to find. For one thing, economies take time to percolate. But people would inevitably become impatient with percolation. Percolation takes time. And you don't want to survive purely on a percolating economy. Part of the issue has really been the lack of investment for the South at this time. And in a situation where we are not able to attract foreign investment as well as we should, then almost inevitably it means that public sector investment has to drive the South. That has to be the key for the South. And in all the phases we have gone through in the South, it has always been public sector investment that drives the South. And so it is an issue that we now have to tackle to supplement the efforts, because it is only by that kind of investment that the income that is so necessary for expenditure by households and others can really rise in the short term. Unquestionably, this is a commendable initiative. I applaud the ministry for undertaking this initiative and for sharing with the southern community the investments that they are making in preparation for the buoyancy in the economy and, of course, to drive, as I said, unemployment even further downwards. Having said that, however, there's one plea that I have, and that is I hope that somewhere in the future that the ministry would organize another opportunity to share with the business community in the South, particularly the small business sector, the actual incentives that are available to help drive investment. I normally find when I talk to business people that they are blissfully unaware of what the incentives are. And they don't know where to go to tap those investments. And so, for example, we heard from Senator Ferdinand a while ago, well, you can get incentives for B&B for one room. That's not a message that the average person knows. And there's a huge gap between policy announcements, policy making in Parliament, and of course, what resonates with the public. And notwithstanding that some of these investment opportunities, some of these opportunities for incentives have been on our statute books for years, somehow it's been forgotten over the months, over the weeks, over the years. And we have to renew the efforts. I'm aware too that the Ministry of Commerce has also introduced some new incentives for its own ministry, but again, even that is unknown. So while I think this business mixture business mix is a very good idea, an excellent idea, and gives people in the South some opportunities, particularly the small business sector, to be acquainted with what is available, I do believe that even much more can be done by sharing investment about the new possibilities that exist. Now, don't get me wrong. Even if I suggest to you that our small business sector feels somewhat endangered in these current times, nevertheless, I want to emphasize we do have entities in the South that are doing exceedingly well. I don't know if you noticed the confidence with which the manager of the brewery spoke. Now that confidence tells me that Heineken is doing well. They're selling more beers. And they're doing reasonably well in the local market. And you know, some of the key manufacturing enterprises are based here in the South. But we must not make the mistake of assuming that because these manufacturing entities are doing reasonably well, the average small business is also doing well. The two don't walk hand in hand. And so I commend this initiative, but simply plead this afternoon to come back again, this time with the army of civil servants to explain to the business community the opportunities that exist and how they can make use of those opportunities. So if I was rebellious this evening, I was only rebellious to help you in your cause and to point you in the right direction. Thank you very much.
I listened very clearly to Dr. Anthony, and he's correct on quite a few areas. He's correct that our economy has grown for 3 consecutive years, and he's correct that the progress is more visible in the North than in the South. And that is why, as a ministry, we are having this mixer and other events. So from the Ministry of Commerce, and I'm very pleased today that we have partnered with the Ministry of Tourism and the Youth Economy to focus on having this first Southern business mixer this afternoon. It is definitely a deliberate policy decision on our part to focus on the south of the island. But I just wanted to add to that when we first introduced the MSME loan program, we again partnered with other agencies, Ministry of Agriculture at the time, Community Tourism, Bureau of Standards, Export St. Lucia, and we started going around the island. And what it did actually was exactly what Dr. Anthony was suggesting. Because at the sessions, we were able to share with the participants the incentives, the rules, what was happening at key government ministries. But unfortunately, Dr. Anthony is reminding me, we did not have one in Beaufort South. We had one, I remembered, I think I did one, a solo at Beaufort North in Musa's constituency. So Viewfort South did not get one. Now, Labrie did not have one. Swazel had one. The two Denrys did not have. So it is telling us, yeah, no, the two Denrys did not have. And I know, yeah, we're going for next week in Denry. Okay, so it's just a reminder to us as well that we need to maybe repeat it, because the MSME, we've been there for just going to 2 years. We've had the end of our second calling. Persons are calling us for food calling. We have run out of funds even to complete the second calling. We are still $1.something million short, and we have presented that to the Minister for Finance. He's given a commitment to us, because if we are going to have, we told the public we are going to have a food calling. The Minister for Finance has asked us to work with the Ministry of Economic Affairs so that we can have a proposal going in so that we can address a food calling. What it is telling us that the MSME loan program as well as the youth economy is doing what we expected to do. We've had significant response from the business community. In fact, we were surprised when we did the allocation of new businesses versus existing businesses. The existing businesses, the response from them was overwhelming. That's what we are seeing. So it is saying that we need to continue, and we have received a nod from the Honorable Prime Minister that he's willing to work with us to address that shortfall. So it is, for me, a great honor to be here in the South. I believe that when we think of this business mixer, it is a gathering of persons, and we believe, again, as I look around, I'm seeing some young people. I'm not seeing enough of our young people here. I'm seeing our mature business persons are here. And the objective of this particular mixer is to cause persons to form relationships. I am pleased at the geographical representation, and I'm hoping that during the mixer, persons from Soufrière will build relationship with Viewfort, with Dennery, so that supply chain is strengthened. But to me, this afternoon, there is a gap, especially with our young persons coming in, because that will present them an opportunity to interact with the more mature businesses so that they can learn. So it is telling us that we have to do this once more, and maybe with the help of the parliamentary representatives, Viewfort North, Viewfort South, Miku North, Miku South, do something where we target especially the young and the not so young, so that the experience is mixed, so that the young ones can learn and make solid relationships with the more mature businesses. I'm particularly pleased as well that we have here representatives from the Chamber of Commerce, because as Dr. Anthony reminded me, so about more than 2 years ago, that we had a session here in Viewfort with the Viewfort community. And one of the takeaways from that session was that the Viewfort community would form a Viewfort or Southern Business Association. That was the commitment at that session. That has not materialized as to me envisaged. So I'm hoping with representatives from the chamber present, with representatives from Sleesba. I'm not sure we have a representative from the Manufacturers Association. Manufacturers Association. I'm hoping that this mixer as well would cause persons to understand the role of the various business associations, and that they would see reasons to affiliate themselves, whether it is with SLISBA or with the Chamber, because there are benefits from being a member of the Chamber, as well as benefits from being members of SLISBA, as well as other associations. I'm not certain that we have representatives from the service associations there this afternoon. Again, in the North, you have Engineers Association, you have all types of associations. So one of the things that we need to work on is to try to see whether we can mirror that in the South. Dr. Anthony is very clear in terms of saying that there is need for more public sector investment in the South, and I do agree with you that there is room for that. I am pleased to report in our conversation at the Ministry of Commerce, we made a commitment at that very first meeting that we are going to open an office in the South. This has been long overdue, but I need to report that just before coming here this afternoon, we actually visited the new office that has been prepared for us. I believe from what we've been told, it's like 90% complete. And in our own estimate at the Ministry of Commerce, we would like to open this office the first month of 2025. This is the date or the target that we have set, and we're hoping that whatever bits of work has to be done will be done within that space of time. It is a commitment that was supported by the Honorable Prime Minister, and I'm very pleased that we are delivering on that particular commitment. I am also aware that tomorrow, God willing, as part of Business Month, Export St. Lucia is going to have a symposium in Dennery, and that is on exporting to the US. And I believe the focus on that as well, because you know, for example, between Dennery and Micoud, we have the whole issue of our CMOS farmers. And sometimes we are being challenged by some of the things that they do, and some of them not understanding the requirements of the US market. So we are targeting them tomorrow in Dennery, and it starts from 9 o'clock. So if there's anybody there from Dennery who wants to attend that workshop or that symposium, I would really invite you to please do so. So why is it so important for us to come together? And I think you've heard it here from the different persons who have spoken. No business in today's world stands alone. None. We've heard that the brewery is going to be 50 years next year. And when you look at the method, without the distributors, without the consumers, without the drivers, without everything else, the brewery cannot succeed. You must have relationships. And I'm saying so especially for the new businesses, because you know, we have within us in St. Lucia a culture where we believe that if we partner with somebody else, they will take our secrets and so on. There are ways and means of dealing with this. And that is where your legal advice comes in, and that is where our ministry comes in, because we have a legal officer on site that can give you the advice that is required. We must, as a community, understand what the new business is, what the global business is. We must understand it. Dr. Anthony spoke again about the high cost of electricity. And it is a challenge for us, but it is a challenge that the government is trying to address. We are hoping that with our geothermal project, as well as our solar projects, with the legislation coming into effect sometime in 2025, that this is going to provide us some respite in terms of managing cost. Because no matter how good the product we have, if we cannot compete in the area of price and costing, that we will not survive. So I am really hoping that come next year, God willing, in 2025, we will tackle and have some respite in the area of high cost of electricity. So with these few words, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to welcome you here. I want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors, especially Heineken for hosting us, Mr. Davy, Caribbean Grains, Lucia, and a few others. I want to thank everyone for the support. I want to thank you for turning out, and I want to thank all our collaborators, especially our various associations. It is the work that you do with your members that is going to strengthen them. And as Louis is here, I want to take this moment to thank him and thank the ambassador, who's not here with us at the moment, but who has informed us that he's leaving us. I want to take this moment to thank Ambassador Chen for the significant work that he has done with our ministry as well as with our government. And I want to wish him well. So please convey that to Ambassador on our behalf. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to interact and enjoy this first Southern Mixer. Thank you very much.